It's more, listen to this case. He called me this morning. I was supposed to have a meeting with him for the hunt club tonight, but he wasn't sure. He was on his way to court, for our jury trial, and he wanted to pass me. So his client gets charged with a CCW.
Should I get you a live stream?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
So his client gets charged with CCW. He's got one of those NAA 22 Derringers, right? The little tiny, the ones that they made a belt buckle holder in his cargo pants pocket, along with 3 flashlights in the other pocket debris he had. Because he was working on some motorhome or something, so he had all these little flashlights in his pocket. So his argument in the opening, and he's already talked to the prosecutor, he lost his CPL because he got his gun driving and he had a CPL on him when he was driving. But the prosecutor's already agreed he's not going to bring that up. The prosecutor said, I agree, that's more prejudicial than it is probative, so I'm not going to try to bring that up. So Jim's question is, I plan on in my opening saying he didn't have a CPL at the time. And just leave it at that. Because it's an affirmative defense to the CCW, the defense can bring it up and show the CPL. So I said, well, but the jury doesn't know that. Why would you want to tell him? So I just want to get it out there so it's not a question in their mind. I said, the first thing is talk to the prosecutor. If you trust the prosecutor, and just say, look, I want to make this comment in my opening. If you're not going to jump on it and try to make hay with it, you've already told me you're not going to bring up the prior convictions. So are you going to make hay with it? He's like, it's a new prosecutor. I'm not sure I can trust. I'm like, okay. Then why even say it? I said, if you don't say anything, you might leave doubt in somebody's mind. It's like, wait a minute. The prosecutor never said that guy didn't have a CPL. If he had a CPL, this is not a problem. I said, if you do tell him he's got no CPL, that doesn't help you at all. He's like, yeah, so don't say anything. I said, well, I don't know. That's just where I'm at right now. Because he won't put his guy on the sand either. Because he said, he's got 2 masters behind. He thinks he knows everything about everything. And he thinks he's smarter than I am. So I'm afraid I can't control him when he gets up there. Because my big thing is, they're going to want to know, how's he got a pair of pants on that has something in his pockets he didn't know was there? Right? How many times did you arrest somebody and say, oh, this ain't my coat?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So where was this at?
Up in Port Huron. I don't know what the circumstances the cops came in contact with the guy.
But I'm surprised they didn't offer him some stupid freaking
Port Huron.
I
I think that is, it's not Wayne County. But something interesting he's got on the in-car video. The cop that found it told his partner, he said, man, that pistol's so small, I almost missed it. So Jim's figuring, hey, if the cop almost missed it, it's not inconceivable my guy would have been wearing a pair of pants with all that other stuff in the pockets and not know that little thing was there. But if I'm a juror, my mind still has, but how did he get in his pocket that he didn't know? And if the guy's not going to get on, let's say, and say, I was at the range the day before, put it in there. So, yeah, it's an interesting case.
So people are already starting to call about the treacherous weather tomorrow.
I don't adjourn on,
I
on the come. I mean, this isn't a crap stand.
I have an attorney calling and just saying, well, can I just either come later, which is fine, because she lives way out. Or she's coming from way out. She's asking me either to come later or adjourn it for another day. So I just gotta talk to her.
You know what the answer is?
Adjourn it.
I'd prefer to have her call me tomorrow when we see if the weather happens. How many times have they told us we were going to get a storm? We never got it.
Yeah. And you can come later because it's supposed to stop like by 8 o'clock in the morning. And
I'm perfectly okay with her calling you at 8 o'clock and say, you know what, I'm in Port Huron and the roads up there are terrible.
For some reason that does sound familiar. She's far out.
Yeah.
So
I just don't understand it.
People get worked up about it, but we're in Michigan.
It's just fear. People are so afraid of their own shit.
Well,
but I bet you if they need groceries, they're gonna go to the store.
No, I was just gonna say, it's not even fear as much as it is any excuse to avoid court.
Yeah, exactly. Because since COVID, it's easy to avoid court now.
All right. Who do we have tomorrow? Which venues?
Airport Van Buren, that's why it's so huge.
Well, we took 5 files off today. We pushed it around.
Yeah, those are, and I should not have any Zoom tomorrow, so it should just be a normal docket day.
Except for the fact that people aren't gonna show up.
People are gonna jump on Zoom.
Yeah, and I don't care if if the roads are really bad in the morning, we'll start zooming them, but I'm not gonna tell them all today that they don't have to come in tomorrow. Just
Right.
because the weather might
Might be bad.
So
We all gotta get here.
we took the kids to,
Oh, yes.
Call last
Rusty Grove.
and Freddie was there. So Freddie always tries to, interact with the kids. Well, my granddaughter ain't having none of it. She's like, right. So even Theo was a little bit shy to start with.
Cause it wasn't a girl.
But no, he
Oh.
chooses everybody.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not kidding you. By the time we're trying to leave, Theo's holding his hands, slobbering on his hands, making, motorboat noises and stuff like that. I'm like, Theo, come on. Freddie's loving it. Freddie's loving it. Freddie got him doing it. Give me 5. Give me 5. All right. Put your finger in the hole. And then he's like, oh my God, that's Theo screaming. Theo screaming. He just loving it. Well, Theo or Evelyn saw him have so much fun. So she wanted it.
Nice.
So it was fun. That whole
He will
restaurant
be the
thing?
one that opens her way to
Yeah.
doing.
Susie was surprised. She said, I can't believe how good Freddie was with those kids. I'm like, some people are.
Mhm.
But I was asking him, the restaurant thing, the minimum wage for wait staff stuff, they put that on ice.
Okay.
Yeah, he said the Republicans in Lansing got it on hold while they try to come up with another solution. I said, Freddie, who's pushing this? He said, nobody in the restaurant industry is pushing it.
Mm-mm. They're all.
He said, my girls are all scared to death because they know they're going to lose money.
Mhm.
He told me, he said, I've been waiting. He said, if they're going to stick it with us, he says, I'm going to talk to my attorney and see if he can figure out some way I can get around it legally. Because Freddie, I didn't know this, but Freddie said he was the first guy that started that with the topless places where nobody worked for the topless joint except for the manager. Everybody else paid to be there. Valets paid for their shift. Dancers paid for their shift. Bartenders, everybody just paid to work there. He said he started that in our area. And he said, I'm thinking maybe the attorney can come up with something like that. He said the problem is they were independent contractors. Everything a dancer needed for her job, she showed up with. Right.
Mhm.
That's one of the things for an independent contractor. I don't know if you can make that same argument. Everything I need to do my job as a waitress.
Right. Does he offer insurance for any of the?
Oh, I don't know. I would think so.
I mean, but see right there. So if you're independent, he's
Yeah.
not going to pay for your insurance.
I don't know. But
Um,
man, he said, Brian, I have to charge $25 for a burger.
Right.
He said, so A, business is going to suck. He said, B, nobody's going to tip them because they're figuring they're making $15 an hour.
It's already.
He said, I'm just going to have to go with those computers on the table. You're going to have to place your orders that way. I'll have a food runner coming out of the kitchen. I'm like, oh, Fred. He said, I don't want to do that. He said, but that's what I'm going to have to do.
Mhm.
He says, I can't charge $25 for a burger.
Right.
Crazy. His ribeyes went up $1 a pound. New York strips didn't go up. Sirloin didn't go up. I said, Freddie, it's the same damn cow that died for the ribeyes. He said, I know, it doesn't make any sense.
But
His eggs,
there's more strip than there's ribeye.
but it doesn't make sense. If your price had to go up on one of your cuts, it should go up on all your cuts. Maybe not the same amount. Maybe it's not
Right.
$1 a pound. Maybe it's 75 cents a pound. But it just doesn't make sense that it just went up on one cut.
That's my
Eggs?
favorite, though.
He said,
Eggs.
Costco, it's like $130 for 15 dozen eggs.
Huh?
So that's almost $10 a dozen. Right? He says, Kroger's, I can buy them cheaper, but I can only buy 2 18-packs at a time. He said, I didn't change any menu prices yet. He says, but all my add-ons, he said, anything you wanted an egg on was $1, now it's $2.
Mhm.
He says,
And I don't think it's fair so Meijer's always sold cage free and they were $2.50 or whatever. Always sold cage free.
right,
Ever since this came in,
Right.
now those cage free, which everybody has to be cage free, they're $5
yeah, but
now.
the worst part about the cage free? I think a lot of people are buying cage free thinking that means organic. You know what cage free
It
means?
just means they're not shoved in a cage,
Right.
but
Right.
They're still in a cage of some sort.
Right.
They
Yeah,
have to be.
they might spend 95% of their time in that little box, but because the box don't have a lock on it, they can wander out.
Mhm.
The eggs are the same damn eggs.
Right. So that's why I don't understand.
And
They
supposedly that was-
did this.
Supposedly this was because of the bird flu, but I don't understand how that's going to stop the bird flu.
Mm-mm.
Right? It's not like it says you can only have 5 chickens in any one room, right? So you can't get your whole herd infested or something.
Or is it considered for free range? Because free range is obviously different than cage free, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I don't know.
I just know organic's not the same as cage free. Because they're still feeding them the same food.
Right. Well, no, isn't organic, they're feeding them
No,
something.
no, that's what I'm saying. The cage-free is
Yes,
is not
cage-free.
organic food.
Right, right.
Organic is supposed to be no pesticides and all that, or
Yes.
limited pesticides. Yeah.
But I mean,
So
what was the law that they wanted them to be cage-free or free range, which that.
I thought it was cage-free was the new rule.
Myers always sold cage-free at $2.50.
That's what it is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like most of the legislation, it's all about making us feel good. It doesn't really effectuate any change. It just sounds good. It makes people feel good about, oh, we're doing stuff. It's not. I gotta get on, Jason Otterville, because I told him, tell your girls I want some hens.
Did yours aren't doing anything, right?
I got one egg yet. It's the first egg I've gotten in at least a week. My traditional, I only got 2 chickens though.
Okay.
My hens usually don't do much
In
in
the
the
winter,
wintertime.
right.
And my nephew, who's came down when we were making bread, he went on the west side of the state. His daughter's got 75 hens and 5 roosters. And right now she's averaging 2 dozen eggs a day. And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, I got lights on the timer and I give him 2 hours of incandescent bulb a day. He said that just keeps them laying a little bit. And my attitude has always been, give those girls a break. You know, if they want to take the winter off because there's not enough sunlight to lay,
Mm-hmm.
but at $6 a dozen, I might just wear my chickens out quicker.
How are the free range?
Oh, they're
ducks?
gone. They're, yeah,
Gone now?
yeah.
Do we think dead or?
Oh, yeah. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went over and looked for him because I've been hanging out at Ray's in the right on the edge of the pond foliage.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bunch of big decorative grasses and stuff like that. And that's where they were always hanging out. I went over there and there was only 2 of them left. I'm like, well, 2 of the ducks are gone. And then just this weekend, last week, I went over and looked and the other 2 were gone too.
Aw.
I was surprised it lasted 4 months.
What do you think is getting, raccoon or fox or?
I don't think a raccoon would because, those friggin' geese are pretty good size.
Oh, those big white ones?
Well, they're Muscavies, so they're not white.
They're ducks, nice.
The gander, the drake was as big as a goose. I mean, they're a big breed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think a raccoon would. So I think it's probably coyotes or fox. I know I got coyotes in there, right? You know where Chuck Lindenwood lives? You know where my sister Lisa lives on Elmview? So my sister's backyard is the hump, Osgood Road hump, right by 94, by the railroad tracks there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So Chuck's 2 houses down from her. And he's got two little lap dogs, his wife does. And he's freaking out because the neighbor across the street keeps catching 2 coyotes on his Ring camera at 2:00 in the morning. So, you can't let the dogs out and say, let the dogs out do their business. I'll let them in a few minutes. You can't do it. You gotta go outside with the dogs.
Gary Syntax old house.
It might be.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be.
I know. Let me go light some fires.
I don't know. What do we got?
Yeah, that's perfect too. They said Cindy Henderson's already here
Yeah, Mullins and Starling, we should be doing it right now.
because Darling, they already know what they plan on requesting, isn't it?
Yeah, see if you can get that attorney.
Cindy Henderson?
Yeah, let them know. We got afternoon too. We gotta get the morning done before we do the afternoon. Talked to Judge Green last week or last night. She just got appointed. Well, Supreme Court just appointed her to the State Judicial Outreach Liaison to work with MJI on educational training projects for judges regarding highway and traffic safety with focus on reducing recidivism in drunk driving cases.
Wow.
She said her kids are laughing at her because she didn't even last 30 days without a job. But it's not.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be all Zoom. It's going to be very infrequent. What do you got?
Questions?
We're file name.
Ready to go on this Norquita Edwards?
Edwards?
Yes, sir.
Got it. Go ahead.
Here you go, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, we got with Ms. Norquita Edwards. Please state your name for the record.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we'll wait for the formal reading of the arraignment advising my client operating while intoxicated charge, carrying concealed weapon while influence charge, maximum penalties and for rights. And we're going to be questioning.
Okay. March 19th. What time? 9:30. Miss Edwards at work? March 19th, 9:30? All right. Are you working, ma'am?
Yes.
Where do you work? How long have you been How long have you been with the post office? That's long enough. I'm gonna put you on a personal bond. First condition is obvious, stay out of trouble. Second condition is obvious, be in court on March 19th. And lastly, do not purchase, possess, or consume any mood-altering substance unless you've got a doctor's prescription. No alcohol or marijuana. You understand those terms? Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm and acknowledge the debt payable to the court in the amount of $1,000 if you mess up on bond? Any questions? If you screw up, we send you to jail. Then you got to come up with $1,000 to get out. All right? We got notices here for you. We'll get you out of here.
And
Have a nice day.